Have you ever felt rejected, humiliated in front of your colleagues? While you bent over backward, gave everything you had, and shelved your priorities, some snake oil salesman got the promotion instead. You carried the workload for months, telling yourself consistency would be rewarded. And still, they undervalued you. Imagine this, a promotion that was supposed to be yours. You've done the work. You've put in the time. Then the meeting is called. Everyone from the team is there. You know exactly what it's about. The boss walks in. He closes the door. He looks around the room. He clears his throat and says, "Big news." The room goes silent, and suddenly you feel exposed, like a deer caught in headlights, frozen, aware that all attention could land on you at any second. We've made a decision, a pause. We're going to promote. A flash of doubt cuts through you. Then he says it. It isn't your name. They selected your cunning colleague for the promotion, the one who interrupts, the one who makes jokes at your expense and calls it confidence, the snake oil salesman of the office, the one nobody fully respects, but who always knows how to shine when management is watching. Silence. Then applause. You feel heat rising in your face, your skin turning red, that wave of shame that makes you want to shrink. You clap because that's what you're supposed to do. Colleagues glance at you, not with respect, but with pity, that quiet look that makes it worse. So you smile, conditioned to be agreeable, conditioned to take it well, nodding as if you support the decision, while humiliation quietly settles in. That's when it hits you. And here's the brutal truth. People pleasers get taken advantage of. Nice men don't get rewarded. They get stepped on. In this video, you will learn how to stop acting like the good, obedient one. How to stop seeking approval. How to stop using niceness as a shield. And how to stop giving loyalty without leverage. How to hold your position when pressure rises. How to stop signaling submission without saying a word. How to shift from agreeable to respected. These changes are small, but small shifts compound. Let's begin. Number 1. You were trained to obey. Have you ever been praised for being easy to work with? Reliable, agreeable, low maintenance. And notice that the men who rise are rarely described that way. You were rewarded for compliance, encouraged to avoid friction, taught that patience equals maturity. So you complied, you softened your tone, you avoided confrontation, you waited your turn. And you watched louder, bolder men step past you. That sting you felt in that meeting, that wasn't bad luck. That was hierarchy correcting itself. Machiavelli would say, "Good. Now you are awake. You are not weak. You were domesticated. You were trained to obey before you were trained to lead." Obedient men are predictable. Predictable men are manageable. Manageable men are positioned, not promoted. Here's the shift. Stop signaling submission in meetings. Don't rush to agree. Don't overnod. Don't soften statements with just or maybe. Pause before responding. Hold eye contact when challenged. Let your words land without apologizing for them. Silence creates weight. Weight creates presence. Presence creates authority. You don't need to bark. You need to stop wagging. The moment you stop performing obedience, people feel it. And when people feel it, they adjust. You are not a house pet. You are not here to be managed. You are here to take position. Number 2. Stop seeking approval. Have you ever replayed a conversation for hours? wondering if you sounded confident enough. Have you ever adjusted your opinion mid-sentence because someone senior looked unconvinced? Have you ever swallowed a boundary to avoid discomfort? That tightening in your stomach, that is fear of disapproval. And when your behavior is shaped by approval, you are not free. You are reactive. You are a puppet to your own emotions. And when you don't master your reactions, others learn how to move you. When people raise their voice, you shrink. When people withhold approval, you chase. When people offer praise, you soften. Your mood rises and falls on command. That is not sensitivity. That is conditioning. And conditioned men are controlled men. The Stoics understood this. If you do not govern your inner state, you will be governed by external forces. Machiavelli would say, "Good. Now you see the mechanism. Pain reveals leverage. A man who needs to be liked cannot command. Because command requires disappointing someone. Approval is addictive. But power belongs to those who can tolerate tension. Here's the discipline. State your position once. Don't justify it twice. If someone disagrees, don't scramble. Slow your breathing. Hold posture. Let silence work. Confidence is not loud. It is unhurried. When you stop chasing approval, something shifts. Your voice steadies. Your movement slows. Your decisions sharpen. And people sense it. You are no longer negotiating for acceptance. You are operating for position. That is the beginning of authority. Good. You felt that, and you didn't look away. 2 lessons in, and the leash is already looser. Your posture is changing. Your voice is steadier. You're harder to provoke, harder to manipulate, harder to move. Most men quit when discomfort appears. You stayed. That matters, but don't stop now. Strength compounds. Finish what you started. Number 3. Niceness is a political liability. Have you ever chosen harmony over truth? Smiled when you were disrespected? Let something slide, because you didn't want to seem aggressive, and then later felt resentment building? That resentment is your suppressed boundary. Niceness feels virtuous. But in competitive environments, niceness without consequence teaches people how far they can push you. Machiavelli would say, "Virtue without strength is weakness advertised." If there is no cost to crossing you, you will be crossed. If there is no consequence to ignoring you, you will be ignored. Here's the shift. You don't need to become cruel. You need to become firm. When someone interrupts you, finish your sentence calmly. When someone oversteps, address it once, directly. No anger, no drama, just clarity. Boundaries do not need volume, they need certainty. When people know there is a line, they respect it. And when they respect it, they stop testing you. Kindness is powerful, but only when it is chosen, not required. Number 4. Loyalty without leverage is slavery. Have you ever stayed loyal to someone who would replace you tomorrow? Stayed silent out of principle, stayed in position out of integrity, and watched others move ahead? Loyalty feels noble, but blind loyalty is self-neglect. Machiavelli would say, "Loyalty is currency. Spend it wisely." If you give loyalty freely, you reduce your value. Power does not reward devotion. It rewards leverage. And leverage begins the moment you stop needing to stay. You felt this before, in relationships. When someone says, "Let's touch base Friday," no time, no commitment, just a placeholder. You wait. They decide. If nothing better appears, you get the slot. That's not connection. That's hierarchy. You are not the first option. You are the contingency, and you feel it. That quiet tightening. That small humiliation. But you accept it, because you don't want to lose the chance. Machiavelli would say, good, now you see the imbalance. The one who defines the terms defines the power. So change the structure. Don't accept undefined plans. Take initiative. If someone says, let's touch base Friday, you respond, if schedules are tight, let's do this another time when we both have space to commit properly. Calm, neutral, and no edge. You just removed yourself from the waiting position. That's the takeaway. Either they step forward, actually, I can make Friday work, or they don't. And now you know exactly where you stand. Clarity without drama. In negotiation, when someone hesitates, the strongest move is not pressure, it's withdrawal. Maybe this isn't the right fit. And suddenly, indecision disappears. Because value rises when access is uncertain. If you are optional, make yourself scarce. If you are not prioritized, redirect your time. Leverage is created the moment you are willing to walk away. And when you know you can leave, your tone changes, your posture changes, your boundaries sharpen, you stop tolerating what once felt necessary. That is leverage, and leverage changes hierarchy. You are not here to wait and hope someone chooses you. You are here to operate from a position where walking away is always an option. And the man who cannot be cornered is never treated like a dog. You are not becoming cruel. You are becoming aware. You are not losing your kindness. You are removing your leash. The world does not punish weakness, it exploits it. And once you see that, you cannot unsee it. You were never meant to beg for position. You were never meant to negotiate for respect. You were never meant to sit obediently waiting to be chosen. You were meant to choose yourself, to stand without flinching, to speak without shrinking, to move without asking permission. This is not about domination. It is about sovereignty. It is about killing the dog inside you, the part that wags for approval, that rolls over for validation, that confuses loyalty with safety, and awakening something stronger, controlled, strategic, unshakable. The wolf does not bark for attention. He watches, he calculates, he moves when it matters. And once you move like that, you are no longer positioned beneath anyone. If this hit you, write in the comments. I kill the dog inside. I awaken the wolf. Not as fantasy, as decision. Subscribe. Stay close. More lessons await.